welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my eyebrow routine. I'm not wearing any mascara either because I want all of the focus to be on my eyebrows. So eyebrows are so important. It's like, to me, if I had to choose between wearing mascara or brows, I would probably pick brows because brows, they just frame your entire face and they're just so important to give you like expression in your face. The brows are just such a special and important feature when it comes to the face. So to me, it is just everything. I feel very fortunate when it comes to my own brows, but I still like to tweak them a tiny bit more. Obviously I do tweeze them, and just a little tip for you guys would be to go grab some really great tweezers. You can obviously go get them waxed or whatever at like a beauty salon or whatever, but I don't really like doing that. I want to like tweeze them and pluck them myself. I want to, like do it myself because then I know that I'm going to be happy with the result. The tweezers that I use are the ones from Tweezerman. These are the only ones that I use because they are the best. I've tried other tweezers during my time, but seriously, there's just nothing that compares to the Tweezermans. So this is my favorite tweezer, definitely, also because you can really get really precise with this one and really go pluck each individual hair. So seriously, if I could advise you to buy any like brow tools other than the actual brow product, it would be a good tweezer from Tweezerman. They know their stuff. Now, it is not too long ago that I did my last like updated brow routine, but my brow routine has changed once again. Here's a little story about my brow journey, if you can call it that. I have always been used to like using eyeshadows actually, and then suddenly I went over to using the Anastasia Brow Wiz, but the main thing for me has always been that it's taken me ages to do my brows, and it didn't really make a bigger difference in minutes whether I used the Anastasia Brow Wiz or the Dip Brow Pomade or any eyeshadows, whatever. It would really take me a long time actually to perfect my brows. But that has actually changed because it has just become so much easier and so much quicker to do my brows thanks to this product. This is from Bobbi Brown. They recently launched with some new brow products, and this is one of them. This is the Perfectly Defined Longwear Brow Pencil. It is seriously a game changer for me. It has changed my way of doing my brows and how much time it takes as well. It is just so freaking easy. Everyone can use this one, even beginners, pro artists, it doesn't really matter. This is just idiot proof and it works every single time. Now, this is not supposed to be kind of like a first impression or a review of this actual brow product because this is a brow routine. I just really feel like that you need to know a tiny teeny bit more about this actual product. It is from Bobbi Brown's Longwear line, which means that it's supposed to last for at least 16 hours. It's also humidity, sweat proof and waterproof, so it will just stay on. In one end it comes with a spoolie, as you can see, which is so handy. It means that it's great for traveling because you've both got the actual brow product and a spoolie. And the reason why the spoolie is so important to me is that if I've made any mistakes in my brows, or if I've like pressed too hard with the actual brow product, I can easily just brush through my brows with the spoolie and then it will all go away and just look natural again. So that is just why I love spoolies so much. They're little miracle workers, or like little erasers. But the actual brow product looks like this, and as you can see, it's a twister. You can twist it up and down as well. And the great thing about this packaging is that the brow pencil will always be sharpened for you because of the actual like shape of this one, and it's got a tiny bit of an angle as well, and you can use it in two different ways. You can use it where it's like really slim, so you get a really slim and crisp line, but you can also use it in like the wider angle, so you get more like brow product in the actual brows. One more thing that I think is important to mention is that when you go to the Bobbi Brown counter, I see many girls standing like this on their skin going like, oh, it doesn't really get that much color, it's so dry, I can't use this, But once it gets in the brows, it's a whole nother story, it's on a whole nother level as well. It is very creamy, but not too creamy, if you get what I mean. It is the right amount of wax and emollients in it, so it's just perfect in the brows. It is just honestly one of the best brow pencils I've ever tried. Now, enough talking about this little miracle worker. I want you to see it in action. So now you're zoomed in, hello! And I'm obviously going to do my brows now. I haven't done anything to my brows yet, but what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use the spoolie, and then I'm just quickly brushing through my brows. And the really important thing is that you brush them upwards and then outwards. So you kind of like follow the natural like shape of your brow. You also make sure that all of the brow hairs are in the same direction, which will make it much easier to apply the actual product. So once that is done, as you can see now, my brows, they already look much more polished and much more even. But now I'm going to use the actual brow product. And then I take a mirror and I get as close to my brows as even possible. That looks weird. Ooh. The first thing I do is I turn my head a teeny tiny bit so I can actually see the line here in the lower brow, if you get what I mean, like the underline here. And then I go with small strokes and follow that entire line. So the first thing that I actually do is outlining my brows. And when I do this, I like to use the more like slim side so it can be a bit more precise. And once I've outlined the lower line, if you get what I mean, I use a spoolie and then I just brush it upwards into the brow. In that way there's no harsh line. You see that? It already looks much more full and precise. Then I do the exact same thing just on the top of my brow. And once I've done that, just go in with the spoolie again, but this time brush it like outwards, as you can see. So not upwards, because we don't want it to get onto our skin. So now we've kind of like outlined the actual brow, and now I'm just going to take the wider side and then I'm just going to use it in the brow. And just use the spoolie as many times as you need to. The spoolie will just make sure that it doesn't look as like streaky or harsh. But as you can see, I've just followed my natural brow line and already now it looks much more polished. And the thing that I like to do is that I like to fill in this area of my brow before I go to the tail. But now we move on to the tail because I really like how it looks right now. It looks very polished, still very natural, but still much more defined. Once again, I use the more slim and pointy side, and then I'm going to just once again follow my natural brow line. And I'm going with the lower part of my brow, following it till there's no more brow hair. Take the spoolie, brush through, and then you connect it with the upper part. And there you go, there is the actual brow. I just stop the tail whenever there's no more hairs to fill in, and then I just like fill in all of the small gaps so it looks more even. So here's one brow done and one brow undone. And here comes the tricky part of making them look similar. And trust me, you can't make them look exactly the same. Your face is not symmetrical. It is nearly impossible to get them totally alike. But that's okay, your brows are not twins, they're sisters, maybe like cousins. So don't be sad if your brows aren't totally equal and totally like the same. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing, there's no difference. However, this time I've got kind of like a guideline now. I can try to match this brow to that brow. The brows done. I really like how they look, but if you feel like that you've been a bit untidy, what you can do is take a matte eyeshadow, just a plain white, like fleshy toned eyeshadow. I'm going to use one from the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. I'm going to use the one called VOS, that one in the middle, and then I'm just using my MAC 212 brush. As you can see, it's kind of like a flat-sided brush. Then just pick up some of the eyeshadow and then just go right below the brow line. That will both highlight the actual brow, but it will also tidy up and clear up any mistakes. And when you use like a flesh-toned eyeshadow, you can also do it on top if you feel like you've been untidy up there. honestly, I don't really feel like that my brows need that much like editing, because right now they look perfect and just the way that I want them. It's just to show you that you can do it. And if you want to highlight your eyebrows a teeny tiny bit more, make them look a bit more crisp, you can use an eyeshadow with a tiny bit of shimmer in it. So I'm going to grab the color called Venus, not Virgin, but Venus from the same palette. And then I'm going to use the same brush and just go right here in the outer corners under my brows with the color. That will just highlight your entire look. And I love doing this. Highlighting under the brow just gives so much more definition. I don't know if you can see it, but it just looks much more like lifted. It just makes such a difference. I absolutely love it. And it's such an easy, quick little tip. It just gives the little extra oomph. And that is the end of my brow tutorial or brow routine, and I am absolutely in love with my brows. They've got the right shape, they've got the right color, and this little miracle worker, seriously, if you haven't tried it, you have to. Bobbi Brown came out with 8 different shades. The shade that I use is a one called Blonde, and as you can see, it's actually very dark. So I would say most people can actually use the color Blonde. This is just such a universal color if you ask me, and I think it's great. Brows from a distance. I really hope this brow routine and brow tutorial could help you guys on how to fill in your eyebrows a bit quicker and a bit easier. Honestly, it did obviously take a bit more time for me to do my brows when I have to like show you and tell you how to do it, but honestly it takes me maybe 2 minutes to do my brows. It is so quick, so easy, and so freaking simple. And you don't have to use any brow gel in your brows afterwards, because this is, as I said, long wearing, waterproof, water resistant, all of that jazz. It is just amazeballs. The result speaks for itself, really. So that was all for this time, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you think and if I have to try any other brow products, but honestly, this is the bomb. So thank you so much for watching. Have the most amazing day. I love you all. Bye!